What's going on, guys? Outside going for a walk. I'm gonna get to the park, and I'll give you guys a little speech that I wrote down, and see maybe if that helps people. I got the privilege tonight of seeing my grandparents, and it really struck me the importance, the importance and how much of a blessing it is to have a relationship with my grandparents. How important it is to see the challenges and struggles that they had to come from. My grandmother is of Jewish descent, and I'm not personally Jewish in terms of the religion, but she's of Jewish descent. And like her, she doesn't know really how they got here, because like the Holocaust and stuff and all sorts of craziness. And then my granddad, her husband, he was born in West Texas to a welder who worked on the railroad, and he went out and worked on oil rigs, and got the opportunity to play football, and then he became a banker and went to California. And he lived a tremendous life, and he did it as best he could, and he raised a family as best he could. And then he had my father, who met my mother in college, and my father dropped out with 3 years. He dropped out 1 semester short, and he's lived his life as much as he could and tried as much as he could, and was unable to make the marriage with my mom work, and that's okay. My mom, she comes from San Antonio, here in Texas, and she's lived a hard life too. She's fought and done things for herself, and made big achievements for her life, and they found the strength to keep going, and that's just super important. And I think right now, in such times of uncertainty, it's hard to find that strength to keep going. I'm almost to the park, so we'll get into it. But if you guys have grandparents, man, you got to get to know them. You got to get to know them. I'm privileged to be I'm an only child, and while that has some limitations, I got to spend a lot of time with my grandparents growing up, and they exposed me to culture. I would read art books and listen to classical music and learn things of the old times and the old ways, and how they grew up, and the hardships and struggles that they faced, and differences in political climate, or the Great Depression, or going to war. All these things, man. And it's important that you know that, because in today's life, man, we're fighting a different kind of war right now. You might not realize it, but it is kind of like that. It's a war on the spirit, man. They're trying to tell you that you can't have what you need, and that's to continue your bloodline. So I'll get into the writing, man. So, get to know your elders. Seriously, take the time and think about how somehow, some way, you made it to Earth. And that for generations before you, people have fought to keep their life going, through wars, through depressions, through the fucking, I don't know if you're from the South, but man, we had the Dust Bowl. Literally, we overplanted crops here, and that robbed the soil of the ground, and they wouldn't plant what's called a filler crop. And so for years here in Texas, in Oklahoma, in all sorts of places here in the southwestern region of the United States, there was literally just plumes of dust, and they found a way to survive that. My grandpa's dad is of 12 children that grew up on a farm, dirt poor. Don't forget in this life of modern convenience that people made it work. They made it work. They found a way. They kept going. Okay? And so They did this to keep their family name moving onward. Seriously, think about it. Your ancestors found a way to make it happen regardless of their circumstances and regardless of the outcomes that they were dealt. They had conviction and the will to at least procreate. I mean, at the bare minimum, man, they procreated. You know, and we'll get into that when we talk about the animal side of you and the light side of you, right? We'll go into the Carl Jung stuff. I've done some extensive work trying to study it, trying to figure it out. And now it's 2023, right? It's 2023. And suddenly we are simply just too good to try. Are we too good to try? On both sides. On the red pill side, on the blue pill side, on the black pill side, whatever fucking pill or whatever bullshit you're watching on YouTube, man. Are you just too fucking good to try? Are we better than our grandparents? We've got better stuff, you know, like we got better stuff. My granddad, his first car was a Model A Ford. They bought it for $50, him and his twin brother. A Model A Ford, like that. Look back to history, man. Like, are we just too good to keep trying? Is this life of modern convenience with literally every opportunity at your fingertips so fucking difficult that you can't continue? I felt this way. It's not this shame thing that I'm trying to put out there, man. Like, I felt this way. It's hard. But you got to know the elderly. If you've got the opportunity to know your grandparents, get to know them, man. Get to know them. Take the time. Get off your Instagram and get off the Snapchat and talk to them, man. I haven't been as good about it as I should have, but I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with them, and I'm very grateful for it. Figure out how they overcame negative situations and outcomes in their life. You know, look into history. You know, how did they find the strength to keep moving forward? And let me go back here. Look into history, but don't look into the history that they taught you in school. Look into real history books, right? You can find this on YouTube. You can find this in libraries, and you might even meet some girls there, man. You never know. How did they find the strength to keep moving forward? Ask them. Walk up to an elderly person. Just ask them, hey, you look like you've lived a lot of life. How did you find the strength to keep moving forward in hard times? I'm fortunate to know my grandparents and know the insane odds that they overcame, and I owe it to them to stand on their accomplishments and muster the courage to face the world, to find the strength to achieve and carry out their legacy. The whole truth is I may fail in the pursuit. I might achieve a family and I might achieve procreation and I might fail to preserve it. This is the truth. But I must know that I tried. I must know that I did the research, exhausted the opportunities, and truly gave it all I had. As long as God allows me, this will be my plan. And, you know, a quick actionable tip, make it sound cool, you know? Like, make it sound like a movie. Make it sound like some fucking cool shit that you're going to do in your life. Make your life not fucking boring, man. Make it sound cool. Make it sound like this. For me, this sounds pretty cool. The fate of your bloodline is at stake, and you better find the courage to figure it out. Be better. Keep trying. And just, it's all you can do, man. So keep your head up. Keep going.